Jagdish Salunk lived with his elder brother Kanchan Salunk and his family in Yashwant apartment, located directly opposite the Durga temple in the Vithalwadi area of Kalyan city, Maharashtra. Jagdish worked at a private company and was married to a beautiful and ambitious young woman named Vrushali Thakur. After the wedding, Jagdish moved out of his brother's house and started living with Vrushali in a rented flat in the same society. However, on the night of March 6, 2019, at around 11 p.m., a shocking incident occurred. Vrushali, in a panic, called Jagdish's uncle Nandlal, who lived nearby, and told him while crying, "Uncle, a major robbery has happened in our house, and the thieves have also killed Jagdish." Vrushali's voice clearly reflected deep fear and anxiety, and she pleaded with her uncle to come to the house immediately. Upon hearing this heart-wrenching news, Nandlal was shaken but reassured Vrushali that he was on his way. Since Nandlal lived nearby and Kanchan Salunk, Jagdish's elder brother, also stayed close, Nandlal immediately informed Kanchan about the tragic news. Together, they rushed to the scene. By the time they arrived, the news of Jagdish's death had spread like wildfire throughout the area. A crowd of neighbors, acquaintances, and relatives had gathered outside the house. When they entered, they were met with a horrifying scene. Jagdish's lifeless body lay on the bed. The house was in complete disarray, and Vrushali was sobbing uncontrollably, clinging to her husband's body. With the help of the neighbors, Kanchan and Nandlal separated Vrushali from Jagdish and quickly took him to a nearby clinic. The doctor, realizing the severity of the situation, advised them to take Jagdish to a bigger hospital. Unfortunately, even at the second hospital, they found no hope, and the doctors referred them to Rukmini Bai Hospital. When they finally reached there, the doctors declared Jagdish dead. The hospital authorities promptly informed the local police station and the control room. What had happened that night? Who were the mysterious people who took Jagdish's life? The answers remained unclear. Upon receiving the information, NC from Koshwadi police station arrived at the hospital with a team. They had already informed their senior officers about the incident. During the inquiry at the hospital, the police officers noticed something about Jagdish's body that led them to suspect that this was not just a robbery gone wrong. After speaking with the doctors, the police sent Jagdish's body to the morgue for a postmortem. The police then proceeded to the crime scene, Jagdish's home, where they meticulously examined every detail. Back at the station, when they delved deeper into the investigation, they found several suspicious and tangled clues linking the robbery and Jagdish's murder. The case was not as straightforward as it initially appeared. Vrushali's statement became crucial in solving the mystery, but she was too traumatized at the time to provide a statement. Therefore, Senior Pai Shahu Raj asked her to come to the station the following day, entrusting the sensitive investigation to Pai Madhukar and Sunita in her statement to the police. Vrushali recounted that they had run out of vegetables at home that day. She had called Jagdish, asking him to bring some on his way back from work. However, Jagdish forgot to pick them up and returned home empty-handed. Annoyed, Vrushali went to the market herself. When she returned, she was horrified to find the house in disarray and Jagdish unconscious. In panic, she checked on him and found that her jewelry had also been stolen. Unsure of what to do, she called Jagdish's uncle Nandlal and informed him of the entire incident. Vrushali and Jagdish had been married for less than 3 months when this tragic event occurred. Based on Vrushali's statement, the police registered a case of murder against unknown individuals and began their investigation. However, when Jagdish's post-mortem report arrived, it revealed something that immediately made the police suspect Vrushali. Now, Vrushali came under the police radar. The police, acting on their suspicions, conducted an in-depth inquiry with Jagdish's family. According to them, despite the marriage, Vrushali had not been happy with Jagdish. In fact, before their wedding, she had twice refused to marry him. Could there be a hidden reason behind this murder? A secret within the marriage that was now coming to light? As the police dug deeper, several new revelations came to the fore. It turned out that Vrushali had married Jagdish under immense family pressure. When the police discovered this, they interrogated her again. Initially, Vrushali tried to mislead the police, but under their sharp questioning, she finally confessed to her crime. But why had Vrushali so brutally murdered her husband, Jagdish? Jagdish, a 23-year-old handsome and innocent young man, was originally from Taluka Raver in Jaljan district. His father, Gokul Salunk, was a simple man who owned a small piece of land in the village and ran a hair-cutting shop in Raver. Gokul Salank, along with his wife and 2 sons, had humble means. His elder son, Kanchan Salank, was already married and lived with his wife in Kalyan, Maharashtra. Jagdish, the younger son, was still studying at the time. Jagdish's parents hoped he would stay in the village and take responsibility for the family. However, Jagdish's heart was set on city life. After completing his studies, he insisted on moving to the city. Eventually, he joined his elder brother Kanchan and sister-in-law in the city and soon found a job at a pharmaceutical company in Ambernath. With Jagdish now working, his family started planning his marriage. His father, Gokul Salank, began looking for a suitable match within their circle of relatives and acquaintances. During this time, a proposal came from the Thacker family, who lived in Melad, for their 22-year-old daughter, Vrushali Thacker. She was the only daughter in her family. Her father had already passed away, and at home there was her brother, Satish Thackeray, and her mother. The entire responsibility of the family was on her brother Satish's shoulders, which is why he hadn't married yet. Vrushali was as beautiful as she was lively and cheerful, and these traits immediately attracted Jagdish. Jagdish chose Vrushali to marry, and both families approved of the match. But who knew that this marriage, which began with so much happiness, would one day turn into such a tragic event? Vrushali's family also liked this alliance, and it turned out that they had some old family relations. For this reason, the Thackeray family wanted to arrange Vrushali's wedding as soon as possible. When Vrushali and Jagdish met and liked each other, both families and relatives quickly arranged the engagement and fixed a wedding date. Nowadays, people consider an engagement to be half a marriage and allow their children a lot of freedom. The same thing happened with Vrushali and Jagdish. After the engagement, they started meeting and going out together. This went on for almost 6 months. While Jagdish was very happy with the relationship, Vrushali, on the other hand, who was free-spirited, had grown tired of it. She didn't want a simple and straightforward boy. She desired a husband who was as smart as a model, someone who would follow her every command and fulfill all her wishes. 20 days before the wedding, Vrushali called Jagdish to Dadar railway station in Mumbai and, with a heavy heart, told him that she was not happy with the marriage and felt that their thoughts did not align. She said that even if they got married, they would never be happy. It would be better if he called off the wedding. Hearing this, Jagdish felt like the ground had slipped from beneath his feet. His family had made all the wedding preparations, and invitations had already been sent out to relatives. When Jagdish tried to reason with Vrushali, she threatened him, saying, "If I am forced into this marriage, I will take poison and commit suicide, and you can imagine what will happen after that." Jagdish was terribly frightened by this threat and told everything to his family. When Vrushali's family learned about the situation, they were shocked and scolded Vrushali harshly. Under family pressure, Vrushali admitted her mistake and agreed to marry Jagdish. However, Jagdish's family had lost trust in her. Before agreeing to proceed with the wedding, they asked Vrushali's family for a written guarantee and an apology letter, which they kept with them. Only after this did they start preparing for the wedding again. Though Vrushali had agreed to the marriage under pressure, she still had doubts about Jagdish. She couldn't accept him as her husband, and because of this, she tried to delay the wedding. 8 days before the wedding, Vrushali called Jagdish to a hotel and told him, "I don't want to marry so soon. I want to complete a beautician course first, build my career, and then think about marriage. You should postpone the wedding date. Once my career is established, we can get married anytime." This time, Jagdish, angry after hearing Vrushali's words, didn't try to explain anything. In a stern tone, he said, "Why don't you tell your family this yourself?" With that, he stormed out in anger. Jagdish's attitude upset Vrushali, and she decided she would have to deal with this problem herself. She spent the whole night thinking about it, tossing and turning in bed, and by morning, she had come up with a dangerous plan. Meanwhile, both families were excited about Vrushali and Jagdish's wedding. The news of Vrushali's wedding brought joy to her friends and acquaintances, and they kept asking her for a bachelorette party. Vrushali kept avoiding them, but then, 3 or 4 days before the wedding, she organized a small party at her home. Jagdish was specially invited to this party. Jagdish attended the party, but he didn't seem very happy. After the party, Vaishali lovingly packed a meal in a tiffin for Jagdish and told him to eat it once he got home. However, when Jagdish opened the tiffin at home, he noticed a strange smell. Because of the odor, Jagdish didn't eat the food and threw it away. That tiffin and its smell were likely part of Vaishali's dangerous plan, which she had devised after thinking all night. Vaishali later confessed that she had cleverly mixed poison in the food, but fate saved Jagdish once again. Finally, on December 29, 2018, Vaishali Thackeray and Jagdish Salunk got married in a grand ceremony. They went to a hill station for their honeymoon after the wedding. Jagdish was very happy and had forgiven Vaishali for everything. But Vaishali was not at all satisfied with the marriage. For her, it was merely a compromise. As time passed, Vaishali's behavior began to change. She started fighting with Jagdish and his family over trivial matters. Eventually, Jagdish's family suggested that they live separately. Following their advice, Jagdish rented a flat in the same colony and moved there with Vaishali. This is what Vaishali wanted because she wanted to live a life where no one would question or control her. After moving into the new house, Vaishali became completely free. She would spend the whole day talking on her phone, and whenever Jagdish objected, she would start arguing. To avoid these arguments, Jagdish would stay quiet. Though people usually try to live happily after marriage, a relationship built on shaky foundations doesn't last long, and this was true for Jagdish Salunk. Barely 3 months into the marriage, Vaishali took a horrific path to gain her freedom, a path that ultimately led her straight to prison. On the day of the incident, Vaishali was very happy. She sweetly talked to Jagdish when he returned from work and, as part of her deadly plan, mixed rat poison into his food. After Jagdish ate the meal, he went to bed but suddenly began feeling uneasy. Before he could go to the bathroom, Vaishali wrapped a nylon rope around his neck and strangled him with all her might. Once she was sure Jagdish was dead, she pretended to cry and called Jagdish's uncle, Nandlal, over the phone. Vaishali tried her best to deceive the family and the police with her act, but she couldn't succeed. In her attempt to gain freedom from the marriage, Vaishali ended up falling into a pit from which there is no escape. The question arises, when both families already knew that Vaishali was against the marriage, why did they allow it to happen? Vaishali had threatened to take poison before the wedding, and it should have been clear then that a girl who could threaten to take her own life could just as easily take someone else's. In the end, Vaishali's free-spirited attitude and stubborn refusal to marry cost poor Jagdish his life. Afterward, the police arrested Vaishali Thackeray for murder under Section 302 and presented her in court, where she was sent to jail. This story teaches us that understanding and mutual agreement are more important than compulsion in marriage and relationships. When two people aren't fully prepared to live together, maintaining the relationship only leads to more problems. Therefore, it is essential to respect each other's feelings and wishes in marriage and other serious decisions to avoid any unforeseen tragedies. If you appreciated our efforts, please like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so quickly. Press the bell icon to get updates on our latest videos and turn on notifications. Stay tuned for more true crime stories like this. Thank you.